Just introduce my guest for the morning. I have the National Nasara Coordinator of the MPP, and Kamaldeen Abdullah is here. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, Roland. How are you?
Yeah, I know that you had an accident some few weeks ago.
Well,
but you pull through, and God is great. Allah is great.
Yes, I know.
Shukran.
I'm thankful to Almighty Allah for that. You know, sometimes it's not really easy going to the work. Trying to reorganize our party, and some of us have shown an intent to move to different capacity in terms of the executive structure.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have to go around the country to get people informed about it. That was what actually necessitated my movement from Accra, and only for me to go and meet such an unfortunate incident. Nonetheless, I'm thankful to Almighty Allah for my life.
Shukran.
And of course,
Mashallah,
things are on course again.
Mashallah.
I'm sure you are aware that we are going to reorganize our party, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm very much aware. And I know that you are going for the position of the, is it National Youth Organizer?
Yes, the National Youth Organizer, though not formal yet, but
that's what you intend.
I have.
But I know that the Deputy NSS boss, that is Henry
Nana Boache.
You also want
to he's on the bill for now. I mean, he's also indicated his intention to.
And one Dominic.
Dominic has also indicated his intention to do that. We're all at the level of where we say that we've all intended, as it were.
Okay. But it's not formal yet.
It's not formal.
Okay, let's not discuss it.
Well,
so,
course, yeah.
We wish all the best in your endeavors. But we also have lawyer Amaliba, who also has an intent to contest a seat. That will be Boga. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Oh, Bolga Central Constituency.
Is it Bolga Central?
The last time I checked, he actually vied with Isaac Adongo, the MP now. And I don't know whether he's still going to look at it, but Isaac Adongo is there.
But Kamaldeen needs to slow down.
Why?
He's over-exuberant, and I just think that
for this part.
I just think that we thank God for his life, but slow down. You are in power. That doesn't mean that the whole world should be taken on you should be
where
on top
from
of
this
the whole
mischief
world.
angle
So slow down.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
And
then everything shall be fine.
I've always been that
the president
low-key type. You don't know that?
I don't know.
Oh,
the president is continuing. I think today will be the last leg of his Greater Accra regional tour.
But before that, Roland, are you aware the Zongo development bill has been passed, waiting to be accented to by the president?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not aware?
Well, I read
and
about that.
And are you aware that the Nasara wing of the New Patriotic Party is full of praise, to the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and of course all who assisted in getting this bill put together, and of course the Minister for Zongo Development and all that. I mean, we are full of praise, and we are happy that what we mooted as an idea under my stewardship as a Nasara coordinator, has come to fruition. And inshallah, Allah is great indeed. And the Zongos will never be the same again. We will not go and get their votes and do nothing in return. We will get their votes and develop the Zongos infrastructure-wise and make sure the Zongo is never great.
The two of you, when you come and say, the president...
After a few failed attempts to pass it.
But we've passed it. That's what
finally it has been passed. These are the people who said they were competent. And simply laying a bill and passing it into law, they had to take it off.
Gentlemen, the president.
Bring it again. This is the competent people we have. See, they can't even lay a simple bill.
It's unfortunate you couldn't, your effort to get to Parliament.
Good morning, gentlemen. Please, the president.
You would have understood,
the president.
This is not the first time people have
okay, gentlemen. Okay, gentlemen, can we just move on? Now, the president is on the last leg of his regional tour, Greater Accra. On Friday, he visited a number of facilities, including some operational areas of the Jospon Group, and lauded the Jospon Group also for the efforts that they are making in ensuring that waste management becomes of a modernized nature, but more so generally just giving thanks for ascending the presidency following the last elections to the people of Greater Accra. Let me start with you.
All right. And you wanted to discuss holistically the
tour in itself, and then you zero into the various...
And we move into what happened. I think that the president has one region to conclude his 10 regional tours if you like, working tours that he actually christened them. And I'm so happy that the Greater Accra one ended on a very good note. Today is Monday, Charlotte's ending today. Actually, it's not, didn't end over the weekend. With what we have seen, we have come to realize that indeed we have a president who would not just confine himself to the office at the Flagstaff House. We have a president who wants to go down to look at what indeed he has inherited from the ex-Wal government and what the way forward should be for us. Region by region, he's done that. I was privileged to go with him to the Upper West region, to the Upper East region, and to the Northern regions as well. Other regions, I had the opportunity of going with him. Actually, nonetheless, in Greater Accra, I couldn't get one or two, the opportunity to follow. But I have read a bit of what he's been up to in the Greater Accra region. I think the essence of this tour is to, first of all, to get the information, okay, on the ground. Secondly, is to hear from the horse's own mouth, as in those who are supposed to be managing certain outfits on the ground. Having listened to them, what would be the report on his table? What would be the way forward? Then he can move on. I'm aware that he's been able to visit other areas, and he's concerned himself with the sanitation situation in Greater Accra. I mean, when the president of the Republic of Ghana said that, look, he's going to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa, the doubting Thomases, as usual, the likes of Amaliba, will come out to tell you that, look, that is not going to be possible. Just like they said, it's free SHS will not be possible today, it's possible. Just like they said, allowances cannot be restored today, it has been restored. Same shall we, with the commitment that the president is going to give to local governance and strengthening the local authorities, and of course, to a large extent, strengthening the waste management companies, okay, will ensure or would achieve the saying that Accra will become the cleanest city in Africa. But again, it also goes with our attitude as a people. And I think that we have elected a president, we have given him the mandate to rule us. We also would have to develop a positive attitude towards developing our own society and communities, if you like. So that if Jospon, for example, Jospon is into Zoom Lion and has been with us for some time now, and of course has contracts with the local, district assemblies and all that to assist in ensuring that we have a clean city. Let us see our attitude helping Jospon carry out this work. What am I saying? We have a dumping ground for refuse. Ensure that that place is where you dump your refuse. You have been given, as it were, a container. Ensure that you are able to discard your waste in that container. Jospon also has it a duty, or any other company that is in waste management also has it a duty to make sure that if it's about weekly, make sure the place is cleared. Now, if we have a positive attitude towards this, I'm not too sure the president is going to fail. And inshallah, if the doubting Thomases remain adamant and say that, look, for us, we will not make it. Of course, you anticipate what we call the negative attitude towards helping to get it up. And I want to admonish them. Ghana is one. Ghana is for all of us. Amaliba, Ghana is for all of us. Ghana is not just for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Ghana is not for Roland Walker alone. It's not for Kamal alone. Whether NDC, MPP, PNC, let's come together. If there's a commonality in fighting filth, okay, in our communities, trust me, we are going to achieve it. You came out with this, what we call the National Cleaning.
National Sanitation.
National Sanitation Day.
The president is launching it today. A very excellent. He's relaunching it today.
Absolutely, a very excellent idea. And I think I will have to commend the ex-president, John Dramani Mahama, for this. Okay, if we all uphold such a very wonderful policy, and we all come up with a very wonderful positive attitude towards it, trust me, Roland, we will be where we want to be. Again, I think during his tour, he was in a church, and he did talk about the fact that vigilantism is becoming a worry. This is a very wonderful president. Mr. President, good morning to you. And I think that I have not made a mistake to support him at all. No, I'm not doing praise-singing. I mean, this is
Why would the president go to a church and ask the church to
Let me tell you.
fight vigilantism?
Do you know how much we uphold religion in this country? And very high. We don't joke. I tell you, almost everyone belongs to a particular church or everyone goes to a mosque in this country. We don't really joke. So if you tell our clergy that, look, assist us. Let us have counseling given to our young ones. What is wrong with that? That's why I say, look, this is a president I really see find a man who is so deep in whatever he's doing. Now, if you are you are admonishing, you are asking the clergy to come on board. Try as much as possible to speak to the youth as well. Let the politicians do same. Let Amaliba and co do same. Let not Amaliba go and
you are
find
saying that is where the church plays instrumental role?
Of course, as a the clergy people plays very instrumental role in counseling us. And in the course of counseling, I think we'll be able to do. But nonetheless, the budget that we're going to have,
we'll talk about the budget.
We'll talk about it. Okay, very good.
Come on, the president's tours and all that he's been saying and the things that he's been doing within the tours. Your initial comment.
You have given my name to Amaliba. Amaliba cannot be called Kamal. He's Amaliba.
Oh, is that what I said? Okay, sir.
Let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. But before I proceed, tell him to be quiet, just as I have been quiet and he has had his time.
What is this caveat for?
Now, we don't fight terrorist groups in churches.
Oh, really?
Let the president know that. Let the president know that where he went to and was talking about his terrorist group, that he gave them a misnomer, vigilante group. That's not where we fight terrorist group. He is indeed in charge of the security apparatus. If he doesn't know, let me remind him that it's the security forces who fight terrorist groups like his invisible forces. And he presides over the terrorist group. So don't send your matter to the church. Tell the president. You will notice that this president has nothing to show on his tours.
Right.
So he goes, shows Muhammad's project, and some of them he tries to appropriate them. And when he does that, the local people will tell him that, Mr. President, we were here when former President Mahama was putting up this. An example is the water project. So once he has started to show, and you've noticed that ever since he started appropriating to himself projects done by the NDC, if he announces his visit to any town or village, people in those communities will begin to count the projects that Mahama left behind so that he doesn't come and hoodwink people and say, these are the projects I have done. That's the kind of situation the president finds himself. Now, he was in Abosokai to meet his supporters. The Abosokai, and thank them for voting.
He went to meet the spare parts dealers.
He thanked them for, the spare parts people. He thanked
they
them
are not his supporters per se.
He thanked them for voting for him. And once again, another lie. You see, I sometimes wonder how a group of liars were able to come together to form a party. It baffles me.
Oh, I think that's not a fair comment.
I will respond in equal measure.
It baffles me.
Don't worry.
It baffles me to the extent that you find the president lying, the vice president lying, and permit. There are some good ones among them. I can mention two of them.
No, there are no good ones. You said a group of liars are from the party. Don't do this.
I'm saying
don't contradict yourself.
I'm saying that behave.
I'm behaving, but don't contradict yourself.
Just as how I behaved.
Please.
You see, former president said that he has to prick himself so that he won't engage in acts of corruption. Prick yourself so that you can sit on your seat. You think I have no heart? I have no heart. When you were talking and attacking the NDC, I have no heart. Now, Jospon, are we all Ghanaians? We are not all Ghanaians. A week ago, this country was agog, and we were discussing a statement made by one George Eyisi. And he confirmed those statements by saying that this is the position of the MPP and the president cannot fire him. You come and sit here and say, we are all Ghanaians. Weren't we told that some people are more Ghanaian than the rest of us, and if you are an MPP person, you are more Ghanaian than the rest of us? We're told.
And you are relating this to?
He just said that we're all Ghanaians.
Yes, we are all Ghanaians.
Yes.
The president is showing that in his
And I'm saying that it doesn't tell us the whole story. The story is that we have been told by George AEC that some people are more Ghanaians than others. And it's the MPP people who are more Ghanaian than the rest of us.
But the president is showing differently. That
no, the man went further to say that the president himself believes in that. And so the president cannot fire him. When he was, when they were told that the president should fire him, that was his response.
But you cannot say that what he said is the position of the president.
All what I've said are facts. Whether I believe him or not, I will not place any value judgment on that. I have refused to place. I am giving you facts, bare facts.
You're only stating what they are.
As to my value judgment, it's unnecessary on this platform. I'll keep it in my room. On the issue of Jospon, once again, just as how he did to the church, where you have the power to fight this terrorist group, then you go and say, church, help me. Can you imagine an owner of a house telling a goat to fight thieves when there's a dog lying there? You don't know that it's the security forces who fight terrorist group. You go to church and tell people. On Jospon, once again, what he visited was the handiwork of the Mahama administration. Meaning where Mahama facilitated the building of that thing by Jospon. Look at your attitude immediately you came to power against Jospon to harassing them.
But that can be the attitude now because the president has visited a number of the plants of Jospon.
You are not going to teleguide my submissions, and I won't take it.
Okay, I'm making interjections.
So you harass the people.
To you too. I thought he was
you harass the company. Now that you are going all over Accra and you have no place to go, but you are forced to go there, then you go and pay lip service and tell the man that be strong, be strong. Whose government is behind the harassment? Whose government is behind the persecution of Jospon? Oh. And if we don't say this things, and
you don't even have the history of Jospon if you say this.
Can you imagine?
Honestly. Please go on.
Have you told him what I told you before I started my submission?
No, please, but I'm sure he...
You are at the tail end, and
I
think I have needed to correct you later
please,
on.
Let's just make... Please
you never were at your tail end.
Please
when
make,
I kept quiet.
Please make your submission.
This is the over-exuberance I'm talking about. The over-exuberance I'm talking about. You should be patient. Now, you harass the company, but when you meet the man, then you tell the man that he should be strong. Look, Jospon is a Ghanaian company and must be promoted. Just as how we came and met Jospon when Kufuor brought in Jospon into the system and we came and continued with Jospon, one would have expected that this administration would do the same. Well, but look at the harassment. Look at the persecution of the man.
Well, it looks like the president intends doing that.
To do what?
I think he said over there, and I'm quoting him, that government would do well to support Ghanaian businesses.
Oh, no, it appears Amaliba stands for...
No, it has not outweighed yours.
Oh.
I was measuring yours.
Look, you don't set the time here.
And he said that he said this sort of facility in it works is extremely encouraging. And he says that we're seeing the best kind of collaboration between the state and the private sector. And I would say more grace to your elbows and the contribution you're making to social life. We have to encourage you. So he's given an intention that government will encourage Jospon and the rest of Ghanaian businesses to do well.
You are actually doing your work as a PRO of Jospon. But let me tell you, I am telling you that the president...
I'm not.
The president...
I'm reading. I'm reading facts.
He's giving away.
I'm reading facts.
The president has a cunning way of behavior. That's the point I'm trying to bring out. I'm trying to bring out the cunning attitude of the president that people don't see.
Which is double standard.
Double standards, You hide behind the curtains, you do something. When you come out in the public, then you do another thing. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm not saying that he has not said this. You will notice that he had to go and tell the churches that they should fight, vigilantism.
They should help.
Help to fight vigilantism. Now, it will look as if, oh, so communicators like me will come and say, you see, the president is even saying the churches to come and fight it. When you have the power, you, commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, you have the power, you have not been able to stop it, you go to churches. That's the cunning behavior of the president. And that's the point I want to make.
Roland.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting.
We're moving.
And Amaliba spoke and said nothing.
Oh.
Yes, and Amaliba spoke and said nothing. That's the way I describe his submission. Let me tell you, you see, why? I'll come on that. If the man sits here and tells us, the whole world, that a group of liars have come to form a political party, imagine the sheer insult that it smacks of. But I'm not surprised. Here is a man who has been trained by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his likes. Not too long ago, some people were called pigs in this country. You see, they are trained to insult.
Is that what the former president said? That's not what he said.
The word pigs could be found there. He was
making a reference.
Anyway,
George Orwell.
Let me just land on this.
That's not what the president said.
A group of liars come to form a party. I admit. You see, equal measure. I never call the NDC people thieves. It is the founder of NDC who says the entire government of NDC are thieves. So would I be right to say that a group of thieves have come together to form a political party? I will not do that. But I never call them thieves anyway. Their own founder says they were thieves. A group of thieves were giving Ghana to manage.
But you just did.
No, I didn't say it. I'm only telling you who said it, and I'm giving you reference. Okay? And again, I sit here, and I want to say that just upon as we have, not a single contract that we have come to meet as a government as we sit today, okay, has actually been reviewed or has been cancelled. No. Jospon is doing his work as a private businessman. So the erroneous impression you are creating out there, as if this government is on Jospon and that the president does one thing in the room and comes out to say a different thing, it is completely misleading. I tell you, we have a president who pays attention to details. I'm just wrapping up. And I want to tell you, the NDC has a problem. They never pay attention to detail. They just get up and say anything. That's why I said, and Amaliba spoke and said nothing. That's the way. No. They say, of course, they don't pay attention to detail. You don't know. Look at this energy bond thing.
But you
know what administrative cost is. You sat down and you wanted us to say, no.
Your words are not civil.
If the man, his words were civil. Look at my initial submission. I sounded as civil as I could. I tell you, and I tried to bring Ghana together. But yet your Amaliba started talking about terrorists. Started talking about
Mr. Amaliba will not have a take on this one. Let's move on. There's a story on the front page.
He's not gagged you.
You've gagged me.
No. We have a story on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. It says that Dr. Bawumia is hinting that in the budget, there will be an announcement of some 25% reduction in power tariffs. And he was speaking at a conference in Dubai. That is the Global Business Forum on Africa. Took place in Dubai. And he's quoted as saying, he says, we will actually be seeing some significant reduction in the cost of electricity for industrial production next year in Ghana. And that can be as much as 25%. And that should be a major catalyst for industrial production. And the president has already been quoted as saying that the old ways of having a Gudgesberg economy should be done away with, in which we enter into a new era of supporting vis-a-vis simultaneous industrialization of the economy and all that. Are we likely to see 25% in a reduction of electricity tariffs?
I know after the Asempa budget,
which will be on Wednesday.
Which we had somewhere on the 2nd of March this year.
Okay.
We're now going to have our second budget.
This one will be Christian work.
And of course, it will come. I wouldn't like to jump the gun. I don't want to take the wind out of the sail of the Minister of Finance. Clearly, we're going to have the budget. We're all touching on bits and pieces of it. What we just have to say is that we expect a very promising budget. We expect clearly a budget that is going to be of job creation, more of job creation. And if you agree with me, we have said that, look, the private sector should not actually be destabilized. The private sector should be energized. And how can we energize the private sector? You're all aware of this doomsday and the canker that we had to go through, you know, as a people, and especially domestically, and then also production-wise or for business and all that. To the extent that huge companies under Amaliba and Co's watch had to lay people off because of what? Power cuts, because of high cost of, you know, energy and all that. We promised and said that when we come, we're going to ensure that we streamline this and make sure that cost of energy production in this country is looked at critical. That's why when you observe us, we have said that the PPA that we're going to have now is going to drift towards renewable energy than actually going into this, you know, thermal and, if you like, crude-oriented way of generating energy. So clearly, what we are saying is that we are on a sound footing. The budget is going to take care of this very well. We are also going to make sure that the money that we have gotten from the energy bond clearly is going to be used to energize the banks that were suffering, to energize the energy institutions that were suffering like VRA, to energize the GRA when they had their taxes actually, you know, their revenue collection also been suffering and all that. So clearly we have fashioned out a strategy, and I believe that the finance minister is going to come out with a budget that is going to help. If the vice president, who is supposed to be who is the head of economic management team, says that inshallah we should expect some 25% cuts in electricity tariff, I mean, that's quite a relief for Mother Ghana. That is good governance at its highest peak. And whoever is watching us today, what others couldn't do in 8 years, we are doing it, inshallah, in 11 months. And that tells you that, look, the beginning of a testicle tells you it's going to become a hernia. So I tell you, that is a very popular proverb in the Bani.
The beginning of a testicle is going to become a hernia.
I'm saying that if you see the signs of a testicle in the beginning, it tells you at the end, at the tail end, it's going to develop into hernia. That's what I mean. And I'm telling you, good things on the way coming. The way we have started so well, and I know, inshallah, by the end of the 4 years mandate, Ghanaians would see this governance given to them as the best form of governance that they've ever had. And inshallah, under Nanado, we are going to be there. This budget is promising and is going to be wonderful. I know the tariff cuts will come. I know job creation measures will put in place. I know revenue mobilization will also be looked at critically so that they will look at how we can soar our revenue, because we've had it a bit dip now. And then I know very well that today, the inheritance that we had from the economy, that sad economy that we inherited, when we got the inflation running like this, we have stemmed it and brought it down a bit. Today, as we speak, inflation is around 14–15% thereabout, and I think it's not too much so bad for us. We're still working hard. I don't envy the finance minister at all, because the kind of economy they inherited is terrible, my good brother. It's terrible. Nothing was adding up. Nothing. And when we talk, they tell us that no government left money for anyone. My own brother Isaac Adongo, MP for Bolga Central, he says the president shouldn't say they didn't leave money because no one ever came to inherit money. Interestingly, he's forgotten in 2001 when we came, it was a chartered economy, but when we were leaving in 2008, we made sure that they had reserves. We made sure that things were on track. He's forgotten about it, but we wouldn't do that. We are just telling you that this is what it is, but we are going to move on as a government, and we are focused, and we are going to remain focused, as the president has told Jospon Group to remain focused.
And Amaliba, and the president says that, well, more concentration will be given and relief will be given to businesses.
That's what I told you. Private sector is going to be seeing a boost.
For me, if the president speaks and his vice president also speaks, I take it with a pinch of salt.
Why?
I do not trust the sincerity of these two personnel. See, the president was at Abotokai and said that, sometimes when I listen to these people, and said that when Kufuor left, he left some money to the late Professor Mills. Do you remember when Mills came to government and said that the economy is hard and that he has not inherited anything? Then candidate Akufo-Addo, his response was what? If the economy is broke, fix it. If the economy is broke, fix it. He has forgotten that, and he's now telling Abosoka they left some pot of money. He has forgotten that Mills himself also complained about that.
So your point is?
He's lying.
Oh.
I just told you. He's lying that Akufo-Addo, Kufuor left money for Mills. And your Mahama has not left money for him. He's lying. He has used his own words, which are that if the economy is broke, fix it, to tell that he's lying. Those were his response at the time when Mills was also talking the way he is talking today. So he's lying. I would wait. I will hold my fire until this 25% deduction or reduction is made.
Why?
I have told you that when these two people speak,
what promises were made?
I take it with a pinch of salt.
What promises were made of having free SHS? It's ongoing.
We were told.
Absolutely.
I'll come there. We were told that 57 industries were going to be built by the end of this year.
Under what program?
Who says so?
This is one factory thing.
Okay.
57 were going to be built by the close of 2017. As we speak, the one that they appropriated in the central region, and they cut soil for it. When you go there, the grass, I don't know whether it's a factory for grass, but the grass has overtaken the whole field. With long grass have grown. I will wait. Fortunately, maybe you'll call me here one day. When this 25% is done, then I'll now tell you what I think about it. But for now, let's wait.
Okay. But
even if they reduce this 25%, how about water bill? How about gas, LPG gas? How about fuel, which has increased over the period?
But Mr. Amaliba, if we have approximately an average reduction of 25% in electricity tariff, that's huge for industry.
I am telling you that that is not the only
you are failing to
panacea.
Appreciate.
That is not the only panacea for our economic woes. So that's why I have veered into areas and I'm pointing at other areas. That's the way my submission is going.
Your submission is going that their promises have not been fully...
When the NPP were in opposition, they told the people of this country a lot of things. In 2020, I want to see them talking about corruption. Whether they will have the guts to talk about corruption. In 2020, I want to see them talk about nepotism. This is the most nepotistic government Ghana has ever had. They said Mahama was appointing Nordness. This one, it is family and friends. And that's why the fight against corruption is
we're talking 25%. You are bringing.
You see?
It's a promise. That's why the fight for corruption is very hard.
Okay.
Because he cannot look in the face of a family friend and fire. He can't look in the face of a relative and fire. So wait, let's get to
this point
the
before.
point. But for these two gentlemen, anytime they speak, I cringe.
But the Vice President is saying for the domestic consumer, tariff in Ghana is between 19 and 28 cents, while it is 9 cents in La Côte d'Ivoire.
Absolutely.
17 cents in Benin, 16 cents in Togo, and 17 cents in Nigeria. Now, if you do a comparative analysis of all this, government has looked at the situational analysis and seeing that if we do this, the domestic consumer will have a lot of relief. And that is the baseline understanding for having a policy direction.
Look, once bitten, twice shy. When they took over, when they were in opposition, they were saying they were going to reduce, and Akufo-Addo went to La and indicated that light bills were higher than rent. When he came, their Asempa budget was it not a 2% reduction? Was that?
And now 25%.
Oh. Can't you behave the way I'm behaving? When you are talking, I don't talk. Behave. The over exuberance, you are too exuberant. That's your problem. You see, when they came, they reduce it by 2%. There are no impact. One would have thought that because they campaign on electricity bill higher than rent bill, when they come, they will reduce it so as to have the common man feel comfortable.
But this is the...
and that's why I'm saying that...
This is a drastic one.
You don't understand.
You are saying seeing is believing.
Can I...
If you don't see, you will not believe.
Come in now?
This is not drastic. Why am I saying that? It has not happened.
Okay.
These are people, when they talk, they are free SSS.
May I come
Did they say they were going to implement it for first year alone? When time came for them to implement it, they limited to first year. You don't know how these people behave. I know them very well.
Really?
And I don't like the way they do politics in this country.
Roland.
So you notice that I am being cautious. I'm saying that, wait, let it come. When it comes, we cannot talk about it. But if we were jubilating that free SSS is coming, like the woman in my village who said that, oh, they should vote for Akufo-Addo and vote for the NDC MP because when he can't free HS, now his son is in SS2. He has been cut off. He has been deceived by these people. That's the kind of people I'm talking about.
I chanced upon a fact from Delex Finance. You know Delex Finance, Joe Jackson's company.
Yes.
And the fact remained that annually, when it's close to school opening time, as in September, their loans, they get a spike in the loans that they give out. Why? School fees and all that come on board. I mean, to the extent that I was told about 17 million Ghana cedi will be disbursed in loans. Today...
You mean at the end of the year?
Yeah.
That's what they get.
During the school opening time, the academic year, beginning of the academic year, when students are supposed to go to school because of school fees and all that. This year, by their own fact, it came down by almost 6 million to 7 million. From 17 million to 10 million. Then the question was, how did that happen?
And they relate that to
how did that happen?
Education.
Because free SHS is here. No payment of fees.
For first years.
Absolutely. So those parents, like Amaliba and co, Amaliba's uncle or auntie who would have gone to look for money to go and pay for school fees, would not have to do that. So if you sit here and say you don't feel it, it is you who doesn't feel it. But I believe that you and I, fortunately, we come from one place. You know, I was born and bred in Bolgatanga.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm actually from the northern region, but I was born and bred in Bolgatanga. You know, and you and I know the level of poverty up there. You and I know what we have gone through to be sitting here when you were at Zamstek or so, and I was at Big Boss or whatever. You understand? We know the reality on the ground. But you see, that is not even the subject matter. The matter is simple. You say we promised that we're going to reduce, electricity tariffs. And when we came, it was 2% we did. I thought he was going to say we did nothing. Just like I said, he spoke and said nothing.
Well, he says it's not drastic.
No, I thought he was going to say nothing. You see, listeners are looking at us and viewing and watching and making
it's still not drastic. Based on the high expectations that you may have created while campaigning.
The Chinese have a proverb that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
But you should tell the voters that you're going to begin.
What we did was that
you're going to begin with one step, a journey of 1,000 miles.
No,
that's what he says.
Roland.
That's why he says that.
Roland. Yes, once again today, I'm becoming ABA Fuseni. The man of proverbs. You know what? In Dagbani, that the one who gets little. Wait a minute.
Very well. I'm saying that
in Dagbani, we say one who gets little and then remembers you to give you something. It's the same person who will get much tomorrow and remember you again. And I'm saying that, look, clearly, as we sit today, the government of the day has shown that indeed they are very sensitive to the plight of people in this country. How? If we had electricity tariffs and we reduce it by 2%, today the next budget is coming and we are promising to reduce it by a whooping 25%. A whooping 25%. It means that industry is going to be active again. It means that domestic tariffs are actually going to be cushioned, or people who are paying high for domestic tariffs are going to be cushioned. That is what it means. But if you are not happy about it, what else will you be happy about? Now, when we ask you about tariffs and budget and what outcomes of budget, you are here talking about some free SHS, you are here talking about some disjointed, with all respect, submission, not regarding to the matter here. The matter is simple. The budget is going to be rolled out. What do you expect? We expect job cuts. We expect tariff cuts. We expect that indeed we're going to have our receivables as government going up. in making sure that our revenue mobilization is done well and whatever. You plunged this country into IMF. We didn't put you there. Before you went to IMF, you told the whole world that you won't go to IMF. You don't anticipate it. The next moment you were at IMF begging. IMF now came on board. We have come to inherit it. We said, no problem. Let's extend it and finish it. Nonetheless, we are still performing. Look at the indicators on the ground. Not too bad. That's why I said, look, I don't envy the finance minister and Dr. Bawumia at all. I wouldn't like to be in their position. Because of the mess, the crass corruption that he's talking about, corruption. The crass corruption that launched this country's economy into a very serious state. Okay, that is why I wouldn't envy them.
Mr. Kamaldeen, all that he tried to tell you is the fact that based on the promises that have been made and the way they are being fulfilled, it doesn't synchronize with what the initial promises were. And as a result of that, he's only going to see how the implementation, and even following that, the announcement of a 25% reduction in tariffs, and how it's going to be implemented.
Once upon a time, because normally I don't like to draw in or zero in equalization. But you see, I am forced by the fact that I have to do that because I have a man who, of course, sees that as a pension. You see, simple. Let me tell you, once upon a time, we had a man who came out with a board in this country, calculated the amount of fuel for us. Ato Ahoy gave us figures and told us why petrol or fuel should be reduced drastically. That was the word used. When Ghanaians gave them the mandate, what happened? When Ghanaians gave you the mandate under His Excellency Professor Mills, may he rest in peace, what happened? That drastic syndrome vanished. The drastic reduction syndrome vanished. Today you sit here and tell us that we should take our manifesto. We say we will do X, Y, Z. We should do it. At least 10 months in government, we can talk about restoration of allowances is on board. 10 months in government, we can talk about free SHS is on board. 10 months in government, we can talk about initiating and cutting salt for what one district, one factory is on. 10 months in government, buffer stock has been given life. You know the buffer stock? That great buffer stock has been given life, and farmers are supposed from farm gate sell to people who will come and sell to government, and government will stop food for us to move on. 10 months in government, school feeding program is on and live. See, when you sit here and you want to shield what actually is the good governance that Ghanaians are enjoying, the good thing is that the Ghanaians who are watching us this morning, listen to you and listen to Kamal, and of course listen to the media, and make their own analysis and know what they are going through today. So clearly, I want to tell you, Amaliba, this budget is going to be a good one. It will restore hope. And of course, your child or your children who are in school will not pay school fees again. From now,
Roland,
please wrap up for me.
And we'll move on.
Roland, you see, if you have a colleague debater whose analytical thinking is warped, when you are making deep analysis,
really,
he questions why you are going somewhere.
Pathetic.
So when I say that I make a foundation statement that I don't trust these people, you expect that I support my statement with examples. So if I say I don't trust the president, I don't trust the vice president, you expect, and the viewers expect that I give examples. So I will go to areas that I will show that they are not trustworthy. Shallow thinking will not be able to match analytical thinking. But come to think of it, now you have a situation where we are being told that 10 months we have some achievements. I am saying that it has been 10 months of vigilantism, 10 months of MPP supporters and vigilante groups taking over state institutions, attacking people left and right. 10 months, insecurity in this country. To the extent that the president even forgot that churches voiced out against vigilantism. And you go to church and say they should help you fight vigilantism. He has forgotten that churches...
You see the shallow
churches...
This contradiction.
Churches
have voiced
churches have attacked the issue. And I've said that Mr. President, bring your men to order. Is it not belated for a president to now go to the churches and say, speak out? Can you imagine? 10 months.
What happened to
in fact, less than 6 months, for the first time in this country, we had 2 thieves who were told by A+ in the Flagstaff House. This is the first time that 2 thieves were in the Flagstaff House. It questions the president's own, what shall I say, appointment, for the want of the right word, his decision to appoint those people, those 2 gentlemen. 10 months, we had a security officer, a policewoman, who was supposed to keep the peace and protect the state institution, who was head on tip, coaching A+ as to how to cover up. That person has been promoted. That's the kind of government we have. In less than 3 months, we had a situation where Bost, where he says he's a board member, the CEO there sold fuel, which is not slop, but contaminated fuel, which can be treated and used by the public, to companies who were not licensed to engage in that activity. There has been a cover-up. So if you have 10 months of these things, I shudder to think that this is not the kind of government the people of Ghana voted for. Why? The president says that he has inherited nothing. He has also sat here and said that. Hasn't the president at least inherited hasn't he inherited the Kwame Nkrumah interchange? Would he be paying money for that again to be done? Does he know how many man hours that were spent there? I'm talking about shallow thinking and critical thinking. Do you know the number of hours that was being spent here, just Kwame Nkrumah circle here, to navigate this circle before people go to work? They are even appropriating to themselves the Rich Hospital. You know that the Minister of Finance has gone to remove the plaque and kept his name there. Shameless people. We have expanded the airport. Kotoka, Takoradi, and Tema Haba have been expanded 3 times their original capacity when they were built. Wow. This is inheritance. Hospitals.
Am I coming now?
100. He has had 2 terms.
Why?
120 schools.
Okay.
At every level. He has inherited that.
No.
Sit down to say that. He says that because he's getting
all right.
Enough of this rebel
you cannot.
Enough of this rebel rousing.
Okay.
You know
so my point is that this is an administration that is in the business of lying to the people, will continue to lie to the people, but the people are now sophisticated. They have seen through the lies.
That's good.
And so what I think they should be doing now is to stop lying and concentrate on governance.
Right.
Roland,
that's okay.
Roland,
that's okay. Nothing on this again.
What was the percentage in the election? 44.
Nothing on this again. Nothing again.
You have never.
Nothing again.
The defeat, the biggest defeat that the party has suffered is on the MPP.
I'm saying that
you lost
after all these things you are talking about.
MPP,
because of your deceit, your
It's okay, gentlemen.
Lost,
or you don't know that.
37%.
Well,
you had 37%.
Okay.
You are the biggest losers in this 4th report.
All right, please. I have to end the discussions this morning. But there's something that pricked my mind. I have only 5 minutes. I'll give you 2.5 minutes each. Private university face collapse. There's one professor in Soanyama, who is worried. He's a president of Regents University of Science and Technology. He says that initially the way the private universities were modeled, mopping up students who were not able to enter the public universities. Now the public universities seem to have now had the same kind of model. They have campuses elsewhere. They have all that, and so seem to be rendering the private universities almost redundant, because the private universities charge high fees, etc.
I read the story and I thought that
he doesn't have a case.
The angle where he did mention the corporate tax on them, which was actually imposed or inflicted on private universities by the ex-while insensitive government of Amaliba and Co. You know, that angle was a very good angle. Because if you, of course, 25% tax is going to be paid on them, and fees sometimes is difficult to, you know, get from students, it's difficult. That's one. It could muzzle them out. However, to say that public universities are now creating campuses all over. How many public universities do we have? The UDS, okay? We have the, if you like, Winneba of education. We have Legon. We have UCC. I mean, we can't count 6, can we?
You are 10, not you are don't.
Public universities.
You are 10.
The public universities.
Don't tell lies. You are 10.
No, public universities.
They are 10.
Why?
Private are 70 something.
Private is 75.
So
Public
they are 10.
not up to 10.
They are 10.
No. Well,
public?
Public universities?
The public could be 10 because
Where?
we have the mines. We have the one for renewable.
And then we have the UHAS.
We have the
He
one
doesn't
for
know. He doesn't know.
We're talking about. We're talking.
Don't amend
no,
your
doesn't
statement.
matter. But now let's go.
Eat a humble pie.
It's okay.
Eat a humble
It's
pie.
okay. I said 2.5.
He doesn't even know that.
No.
Under the
Oh,
NDC, we built 2 at the same time, which has never happened.
Which one and
He,
which
this boy doesn't know.
Which
anything.
one and which one?
He
What
doesn't
do
even
you
know. He doesn't
know?
know.
What do you know?
Your cameraman even knows.
It's okay. It's okay.
And doesn't know the NDC built 2 universities 1 year.
Please let him make his submission. This is not politics.
The angle he talks about, where he says that, look, some campuses, or if you like, settler campuses are being created to, you know, soar up the public university base on the ground, is not helping them. Yes, it could be a very good logic. However, are we saying that the public university should not actually strive?
That's not even including GIJ
also,
12. We have 12.
Oh, 12.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay. Are we saying that the public institutions should not strive? They have to. Are we saying that they don't have the authority, or if you like, the power to move on or to stretch their wings, to reach out to students and all that? Now, what is the private university supposed to do as well? I mean, if you are supposed to be in a competitive environment, what I expect is that you map out strategies to also reach out to the people. If, of course, your fees are high and you think the fees are not helping, look at how you can mitigate that to help, you know, get students come on board. Look at also certain facilities that maybe the public university have and you don't have. Then, of course, we could come on board with all that. So clearly, I think that we should, it's a situation that we should be worried about, because the private universities also help a lot.
They are complemented.
Of course, they are complemented. And I think we should look at it very well. But it should sit on the table to discuss.
Mr. Amaliba, just 2 minutes before.
Under President Kufuor, corporate tax was 30%. The NDC brought it to 25%.
All right, for universities.
Corporate tax.
Corporate tax,
yes.
okay.
So let it get to somebody's head. Now, the point, the next point.
No, that's a lie.
No,
the next point.
No, what did he say?
The next point
It's a corporate tax, not universities. Corporate tax.
For universities?
No, corporate tax.
No,
corporate tax is
we
corporate
never
institution.
charge any private university a corporate tax. That's
No, he's not talking about.
Very good.
He's not talking about private. He's general.
This guy,
corporate
I
tax.
will want the impression to be created out there.
This guy
That's the
listens
point.
half.
It's okay, it's okay. Please go on. Please go on. Please go on.
Now,
you don't even listen
the
at all.
point
Well,
is that
And say nothing.
the point is that the private universities, per the professor, have indicated areas that they think are of concern. They talked about their affiliation fees. So I know some private universities are affiliated to some public universities. In fact, I didn't know that the affiliation attracted some fees. So according to them, according to the professor, that fee seemed to be high. And so if government can intervene. So you have, say, there's a university, this central university is affiliated to another university, a public university, and the fee they pay for the affiliation fee is exorbitant. That's an area they talked about. So
Maybe the affiliation fee.
The affiliation fee. And so if something can be done about it. So they just did not speak. They spoke and identified areas that government can assist them. And I think that it is important that government listens to them, because the
government has already scrapped the 25% tax in a way. It's for your information.
Will this guy
we have worked on it.
Will this guy behave?
And the government has also...
Is
no, what, you know what
this
brought
guy
about
is
the
just
25%?
a problem.
You know what brought about
We are doing
25%?
analysis.
They taxed
People
today,
have
said they're
heard
taxing
you.
condoms.
People have
that was
heard
the time
you.
the Tekpe was all over taxing everything.
People have heard you.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Look at the Buga things.
We're talking general about corporate tax. Corporate tax is not.
People want to listen. So I think that government, and that's why there was a time I placed a ban on myself that I won't come on set with him because he doesn't allow the other the debaters to talk. I don't like that type of attitude. Now, if government listens to them, don't forget that there are a lot of students who are unable to get into the public universities. And the private universities absorb them. And I think that the role they play, for me, is key in ensuring that our education moves forward. And so I want government to listen to them in terms of the affiliation fee and deal with that one as well, so that
because you feel that's the main cost of the company.
They should continue to be in existence, because if they fade out, the pressure on the public universities is going to rise. I've spoken to you, are now nodding your head.
No, you see,
Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner, and then also Kamaldeen Abdullahi. Kamaldeen Abdullahi is also the national Nasra coordinator of the MPP.